everyone. I'm so inspired by meeting so many people, by getting to know the talent that we have in this country and what they can do. So that's amazing. I'm back in full spirit, and I think we really can make the change. Thank you, Ricardo, for what you do, and thank you, TAKREEM, for an amazing event. So I'm here to talk about creating and making a change in Hollywood at these times of change that we're going through. Well, as Arab Americans, we all know where we stand and where Hollywood thinks of us and what the media thinks of us. If they show any Arab or any Muslim anywhere, it's a terrorist. That's it. They're the stereotype. They put us in that box. That's all they do. In fact, I did a film, my very first film was called American East. You still can see it, I think, on Netflix. And it was exactly about that. It was about people only being boxed and getting the role of the terrorist. So, in the time of disruptive change, we got things that are happening. And like Emil tells us, there's disruption everywhere. Well, yes, so has the Hollywood. Now is in the midst of disruption. It was a world that where studios were the gatekeepers. They decided which stories get told and how those stories get told. And we all see them. There's a very common theme that is going through Hollywood, but I'm not going to go through that. I'm going to talk about the disruption. The disruption came from two sources. One, where the streamers coming in, creating a whole new world where instead of letting the studios do that, Netflix comes in, Prime comes in, all these new, Apple is doing their own specials. Everyone does their own specials. They pay filmmakers to do the film. They pay you your 15, 20% over what you can negotiate, and you go make the film, but you give them the rights. The people were actually building libraries, and that's where the value was. It's in the IP. Streamers came in and giving the money to the people. Hey, make the stories, give us the IP. So this has been like a major change and major disruption. And of course, COVID was the other disruption. We stopped going to cinemas, we weren't going to theaters. People like Cineworld and Regal Cinema are now all in bankruptcy. They're not able to sustain themselves because of the change that has happened and has disrupted them. However, actually, Tom Cruise with his film, Top Gun, changed that a little bit and gave us a chance for another thing. So, you'd say, what is a real estate guy like me doing with film and talking to you about film? Well, sometimes opportunities present themselves where you least expect. And I happen to have an investment company, and there was an opportunity. You all know Harvey Weinstein. And Harvey Weinstein was an amazing filmmaker, but a nasty character. And his doings ended up putting him in jail. His company ended up going to bankruptcy. And we found the opportunity. We put a group of investors together and bought the Weinstein Film Company out of bankruptcy. So now we own a library of 277 films. It was an amazing opportunity to say, let's get into Hollywood and do our thing. Guess what? Hollywood doesn't work that way. Hollywood has certain structure, there's certain ways, certain people that do and decide, and they cut you out, they put you in. So anyways, we've managed to find, we were a gentleman by the name Gary Barber, who was a CEO coming out of MGM. He was a CEO with no company. We were a company coming into Hollywood with no CEO that could do the work. So it was a marriage made in heaven. We come in, and we have now what is known as Spyglass Media Group. So, being with Spyglass, the first film we did was a quick one. It was The Upside with Nicole Kidman, Kevin Hart, Adam Craxton. I don't know if you've seen The Upside, but it's a great film. The next one we did was Scream 5. I don't know if Scream is a franchise, and this has done very well, and prepare yourself to be Scream 6 coming along. And that's what makes sense today. People, all studios, don't want to spend a ton of money making films. Horror movies are the least expensive and are most popular with the younger generation. So they're doing very well in that department. So we've graduated, by the way, we've made the great returns on Spyglass Media Group. Lionsgate wanted part of it, Warner Brothers wanted part of it, everybody wanted part of that library. So to us as an investment, it was an amazing investment. But it was not about the money. We got in that to do more. To me, it was a passion about changing the narrative. How can we go out there and change that stereotype that they boxed us in? We have a lot, we all know, we contribute to the community, we do a lot of work, lots of doctors. We really, in COVID times, we have done so much to this country, but it's not, we remain in that box, the terrorist. So it was like a mission almost to go out and do this. So we built more relationship. Now we have a relationship with Sony where we've just done 2 films. One is known Lyle Lyle Crocodile. It's a film, a family film about a singing crocodile. The singer happens to be Shawn Mendes. The epic actor is Javier Bardem. I don't know if you've seen it. I was excited. I was in Florida coming back. You've seen it. Good. We got one guy here. So I was coming back, and Delta was playing it on a selection. Now we just finished filming Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington. You've seen everybody wants to do franchise, so Equalizer is a great franchise, and we have a great opportunity to, do things, subtle things in those films that are able to change the narrative, and hopefully you'll be able to see that film sometime soon. So I got the bug. These are films that you pay $100 million, and then the studio pays about $50 million to promote. This is not like small time. These are like big bucks movies that this is not for you and me. I mean, happens to be me because I happen to be in that world of investments. It's not my money, it's people and friends that invest with my company that we try and make the difference. So it's pooling our efforts together, and that's part of my talk today. Is I'm trying to talk to you. There's a way about making a difference in Hollywood. So, for example, we heard the stories of Mohammed Diab. He told us his story of 35 years in 10 minutes, right? I can give you all kinds of statistics, impressive statistics, put charts in, but you come down and you remember, next day you won't remember it. But if I tell you a story that you can relate to, it stays with you, it touches you, it talks to your heart. You're not just thinking about it, it talks to your heart. And my example of that is that we did a short film with Farah Nabulsi. I don't know if you guys have seen a film called The Present, and it was nominated for an Oscar. And I said, my God, you do a 10-minute film for a small budget, but if you do it well and you tell an authentic story, it goes out there. It made so much difference that the head of the CIA, the director of the CIA back in 2013 to 2017, John Brennan, wrote an article in the New York Times saying, Mr. President, you should watch this film. This is how changes are made. It's being able to do authentic work, meaningful work that can touch people's lives and the influencers in this country. So I got the bug. I said, you know what? If a short film with a small budget, forget, we'll keep doing whatever we're doing on the big scale. But if we can do small films, 10 minutes worth of film, that are done well with authentic stories, we really can make a difference. So this is now what we're trying to do is, I went ahead and supported a startup talking about disruption. Hollywood has the anchor, right? That's what they do. The streamers come in and now they have that world. And thank God for that, because we got Muammar's doing films, we got Rami's doing films. The streamers opened the door for those opportunities. But yet again, this is kind of giving you have to really focus for them to come and get you. I'm talking about simpler things. I'm talking about 10-minute films that you're able to get authentic stories. So I said, I'm gonna support this innovative group, 2 Palestinian guys in Toronto that are doing a company called Open Screenplay. What Open Screenplay does is they do script writing. The actual software that everybody uses for script whenever a film is done is, I don't know, am I over by 54 minutes or I still have 50 seconds, sorry. Okay, so the Open Screenplay, they do a platform where you can write all the script. Instead of using Final Draft, which is the standard, they disrupted it and did this. You can do it online, you can do it collaboratively. So it really they started, the first 2 years, they got 20,000 members. 2 weeks ago, they did an Arabic version. And within 2 weeks, we have another 25,000 people subscribing because of the need in the Arab world for Arabic writing, script writing. So I'm using them to do the M Film Lab. And the M Film Lab is a nonprofit organization that basically focuses on getting, and we do these for communities. We've done one for the Latino community, we've done one for the Muslim community, we've done one for the Black community. Now we're doing one for the South Asian community. And the idea is to be able to bring these people to tell authentic stories and do a film on the winning script that we commit to produce. A 10-minute film that can get an Oscar. Luckily, I have, and I'll end here, We have a film now that made recently, a documentary, and it is nominated for an Oscar. This will be the second Oscar that we're being nominated for. And I would just like to end, because I want to respect the time, by showing the trailer of this film, and hopefully it will win on March 7th. Even if it doesn't win, just making it to an Oscar nomination is a huge win. Thank you. Appreciate it.
When I first saw him, I remember saying that there's something not right with this guy.
It was a little scary.
He seemed to be like a redneck.
He was walking kind of fast, his head was kind of down, pacing back and forth.
I was hoping for at least 200 or more. Dead, injured.
You know, he thought he was doing the right thing.
He was at war with Muslims, in his mind.
When I tell people this story, they tell me that they don't believe me.
My dad calls my mom the Mother Teresa of the Muslim community, and it's definitely true.
I invited him over for dinner.
I couldn't help it except to make him feel from my heart that he is welcome.
I could never, in a million years, repay this community what they've given me.